I'm going to make some shirataki noodles using glucomannan powder and water. And then in the last scene you'll see me using some pickling lime. Alright, let's get started. For this one we're going to use 2 1/2 cups of cool water. One and 1/2 tablespoons of glucomannan powder. Just pour it right in there. And you need a whisk. Whisk it around until there's no lumps. It doesn't take very long. And then after that, all we have to do is wait for 15 minutes to let it harden, and then we'll do a spoon test. I'll be right back. Alright, it's been 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and do our spoon test. Just take the spoon, scrape it to the bottom, and drag it through. You don't want it to flow together too fast, but we do want it to slowly go together. This isn't too bad. It might be a little too thick, but I'm going to still use it. See, it's still going together, so that's a good sign. If it didn't go together, then it would definitely be too thick, but this, I think it will work. We'll find out when we do the rest of the steps. Okay, after this, now that I decided that it's okay to use, I am going to put this in the microwave for about 3 or 4 minutes, stirring every couple minutes just to get the heat circulated through the mixture, because that's what we want. We just want to heat it up. We don't want to cook it. So I will do that, and then we'll be right back. Okay, I am back. I just got done microwaving this for almost 4 minutes, and this is kind of what it looks like. And regarding the heat, when I measured it, it had gotten up to about 115 to 120 degrees. Heat is part of the process, so we need, that's why we're doing this. It helps it to start the gel process. And right now it's showing about 100, but when I first took it out it was about 115. And if you stir it a little bit too, it'll cool down faster. Now after we microwaved it, kind of comes the hard part. It's good to wait until it's probably about 90 degrees temperature. So we're going to have to continue to monitor and wait and wait and wait until it gets to there. And while I'm doing that, we're going to mix up the pickling lime in a little bit of water. So I'm just going to mix together a tablespoon of water and half a teaspoon of the pickling lime. I'll be back, and by that time this should be at 90 degrees, and then we can mix those two together and start making the noodles. Alright, here we go. I've mixed up my pickling lime slurry. Just have to wiggle it around a little bit because it separates. You gotta keep it together. And since this is almost 90, I'm going to go ahead, take out my thermometer, just pour it right over. And we're going to mix this together, and usually so it doesn't get too stiff, you know, because as it cools down it stiffens. I only mix about between 50 and 60, sometimes 70 strokes, so let's do that. it's coming together. It's not in blobs anymore. And this is the consistency that you want when you're making the noodles. And this is perfect just to go into your pasta press. Just put it right in there. And at this stage, because it's cool, it's good to work a little fast. Otherwise, it might get too hard to work with or squeeze through the pasta press. So this is one of those hurry up and wait type of recipes, I guess. Alright, in this recipe it usually has a little bit left over. You can either try later to put it in and squeeze it through the pasta press, but I found that it sometimes gets too cold. I can't do it, but it's worth a try. Otherwise, just kind of plop it in little balls into the boiling water that I got going on over here. So there's the pasta press. Let me set up on the water. I'll be right back. Okay, this water is pretty much almost boiling. That's good enough. We're going to take our pasta press and put it right on the surface of the water. Make a good hold and start squeezing. You see the noodles coming out the bottom. I think you can see that on the monitor. You can make them as long or as short as you want. I usually take a knife and cut them off. And after I cut them off, I swish them around in the water just to make sure that they don't stick together. And then we do another batch until it's all out of the pasta press. And as the water boils, you'll see they get a little whiter and a little bit firmer. That's what you want. And I have noticed when when the mixture gets too cool, you know, kind of towards the end, if I've kind of waited too long to put it into the pasta press, you'll hear kind of a bubbly sound because it's a little more difficult to push it through the holes at the bottom of the press, but that's alright. We're making noodles. And after we're all done processing this batch, I usually like to boil it between 15 and 30 minutes or so. You can even let them boil a little bit longer. It doesn't matter. They'll still be noodles. That extra boiling time actually just helps take out some of the pickling lime taste. So if you're sensitive to that or don't like it, just boil them a little longer. And they shouldn't have much, if any, taste after that. So there you go. There's Shirataki noodles, homemade. After the boiling is done, just rinse them off in cold water, bag them up if you're not going to use them right away. Put some cool water in the bag and store them in the refrigerator. Otherwise, if you're going to use them right away, always dry fry your noodles. That will help them firm up even more. And put on whatever sauce or vegetables or whatever you want. Okay, this is a pan. It's been heating a little bit, and this is what we call dry frying. There's no oil in. We're just going to put these noodles in as they are. And this helps get rid of some of the water and firms up the texture. I cut these a little bit before, so in case you're wondering why they're so short. Because they're mostly water, they're gonna make that sizzling sound. And as a little bit of the water goes out, you'll see them getting a little firmer too. I found with getting the taste in, this is the best way to do it, is to dry fry them first and then put on, you know, whatever seasoning or oils you want that would help it get its flavor. Otherwise, the other technique I've used is to soak them in like broth or bouillon overnight, and that gets a little bit in, not a lot, but it helps kind of form a base. You can kind of see the water coming off, those little droplets. You can make them as dry as you want. It just depends on the texture you want. If you don't want them really firm, just don't fry them very much. But if you want them extra firm, just keep frying. There's a lot of places on the web that have recipes for shirataki and konyaku, which is the block form of these noodles, and I will try to remember to put some links so you can have a lot of different sauces and recipes to work with if you choose to make these. Shirataki noodles, homemade. Alright, I'll stop now. Now you can go and experiment. Thanks, bye.